Hi friends, nice to see you in my new video, and in this video I want to show you one of my favorite game. It's a modern classical chess game between Levon Aronian for white and Viswanathan Anand for black. And let me show you this battle. Okay, after d4, d5, c4, c6, it was Slav Defence, and then let me show you some theoretical moves. So now it's equal position, maybe slightly better for white, and also it's modern theory. Let me show you some more moves. And of course black's idea is to play c5 in some moment, and then after knight g5, also knight g5 is not obvious move, and white has some other move. Let me show you master database. So instead of knight g5 we can play, for example, rook d1 or b4, also possible moves, but knight g5 is good. And in this position Anand played very active c5. So c5, he sacrifices pawn on h7, but instead of this pawn he has some possibilities to attack white king. So knight g4, and then he wants to take on h2, and other idea is to play queen h4. Okay, let me show you some more moves. f4, c takes d4, e takes d4, and then bishop c5. Bishop c5, interesting bishop sacrifice, and in this position maybe white should take this bishop. Let me show you this variation. So d takes c5, knight c5, queen e2, and then check on d4, and of course black should take on d3, and then queen g4, king h7, in g3 for example, and then take on c1, and this position is equal. Maybe slightly better for black now, but of course white is good. White is good in this position, but instead of this Levon Aronian decided to play a more solid move that he think it's bishop e2, and then another interesting sacrifice for Viswanathan Anand, knight d to e5, then bishop g4, bishop d4 with the check, king h1, and then king g4. Maybe in this position Levon Aronian should go back with knight g5, and maybe he can stabilize this position. For example, let me show you a variation on the chess: knight f6, knight f3, take on c3, take on c3, queen c7, then bishop e3, and of course black can win this pawn, but then bishop a7, rook a8, and of course this position is slightly better for black, but also white can defend in this position. But of course we can see a variation about -2, so this position also not so good, but maybe white can do draw in this position, in this game. But instead of this Levon Aronian played knight f8, and then f5. f5 a very important move, because if we play queen h4 right now, then white has queen sacrifices after queen h7, so take on h7, take on h7, take on h7, and extra exchange for white in the end of this variation. That's why f5, very important move by Levon Aronian, by Viswanathan Anand. And Levon Aronian played knight g6. Of course he did not allow to play queen h4, but queen f6, also very good move for black, and black wants to take on g6, and next one to play queen h5 and checkmate on h2. So h3, and then take on g6. Of course white cannot take on g4 because of checkmate in one move. That's why queen e2, queen h5, and maybe last chance in this game is to play rook f3. Let me show this variation, but also it's not so good. Maybe black cannot win in one or two moves, but of course also this position is very bad for white. Okay, bishop f3, queen f3, check on f2, king h2, and then also we can even go to endgame, and then bishop c3 is possible, but even knight d3 is the best move, and then for example a6, and then king f7. Also bishop c3 is very good move, but also our idea is to play, for example, one of our ideas is to play rook h8. Rook h8 not so obvious move, maybe simply rook c3 is one of the best idea, and then after take on c3, take on c3, for example bishop e3, then rook c4. Of course this position is very bad for white. For example king g3, then e5, very strong move because white cannot take on e5 because of f4, it's a fork, and next one f takes e3. But instead of this, after queen h5, Levon Aronian played queen d3, and last but very important move by Viswanathan Anand is bishop e3. So bishop e3, and our idea is to play queen hd with the checkmate. For example, if bishop e3, then checkmate on hd, not on h3 or on h2, or on g2, also possible. So that's why after bishop e3, white should take on e3 with the queen, and then take on e3, and also white cannot take on e3 because of checkmate in two moves. So that's why maybe white should play a move like rook f3. Let me show you this variation with stopfish. Rook f3, or even king h2, queen g1 maybe. I don't know what is the best move, but of course after take on f1, this position is completely lost for white because black has extra queen. So this game is very good for Viswanathan Anand, and also I like this game so much, and also I hope that you like this interesting battle and you can watch this game by yourself. So I hope that you like my video review. Goodbye and see you next time.